What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Dateable. What's it called? Dateable Cats.
Take two.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Dateable Podcast, where we like to be very nosy about why people do the things that they do and say the things that they say. I am here with Julie, my lovely co-host and producer, and we are kicking off Hot Girl Summer like it's the end of the world. That's what it feels like.
Yes. Hot vax summer, hot girl summer, hot shock summer. There's so many variations of it, but we are officially in summer.
People are going nuts right now. I saw footage of my friends in LA, or not in LA, in Vegas, in Miami. It's like nothing happened.
Oh, yeah.
You know? It's like bumper to bumper.
I know. It's going to be an interesting, I don't know. I was like looking actually at this, it's like a music venue, and they're taking reservations through OpenTable. And they had a vax section, a vaccinated section, and the not yet vaccinated section.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, I'm wondering if there's going to be more of that happening, like, at venues. It's so interesting. It's like a couple of weeks ago, I saw this exact same venue, and I only saw the the vaccinated section. So I wonder if, like, they did the other one. I don't know why. Like, maybe just to, be equal opportunists for people that can't get vaccinated. I don't know. It's strange that was on there, too.
But it's also the honor system, right? Nobody's carrying around their vaccine cards. Or not.
No, they made you show them at this one, at least.
I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely noticing, like, a rift between some people that are vaccinated and some aren't. And I think at this point, it's kind of by choice, because it feels like at the beginning, like maybe it was like I couldn't get a appointment, but it feels like now that's not really the reason anymore. So it's just really interesting what this is going to do, like, long term to society. Like, I know some people that are like, well, eventually airplanes might make you show a vaccination card, or you might be able to, like, get into a club with a vaccination card. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, like, with the different dynamics and friend groups and dating. Like, I could totally see that becoming a thing if you're dating someone new and you had opposing views on it.
Yeah, and come June 15th, we don't have to wear masks inside anymore here in California, but that's on the honor system. And are we going to get to a place where maybe there are people who don't believe in vaccinations, but they still want to be part of the social gatherings and events? So is there going to be like a black market for fake vaccination cards?
I've seen that happening. People are like going to like get them like fake IDs. It's like a thing.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit. We've come to that. And also, how scary is it right now what's going on in China and in India with this new strain? I mean, I think it's just going to, I don't know if this is completely over, guys. I don't think we need to be partying like it's crazy right now. I think we should still try to be safe because there are new strains coming out and we are not completely protected from it all.
Well, I read stats somewhere too that's like if you look at like stats of unvaccinated people, it's just as bad as it was in January. It's just getting pulled down because of the overall population. So for anyone that's dating out there, make sure you know your person's status. I am curious if there's like going to be more and more vaccination cards like as profile photos that are fully there. We definitely saw the rise of the term. I think there was some stat that like you got like 2x the amount of likes or something if you had a reference to vaccines or being vaccinated.
I would be like, okay, this person's safe. But that's just my personal opinion. I also feel like when I saw my vaccination card, I was like, this is it. It's handwritten. It's like on a flimsy piece of paper. I thought it was going to be more official, like a plaque, something I can carry around or on my keychain. No, this is something you can totally forge and just make a photocopy of.
Well, you know when it's really, like, over is when sex parties come back. That's what we know.
Are they not back yet?
I mean, who knows? They could be, but sex pods, that was something that was happening. No.
Yeah. Those sex pods will just get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, well.
To the point of sex parties, and then we're back.
Yeah, so Yue and I had such a blast recording this week's episode. Speaking of sex pods and sex parties and, butt play and all the good stuff, we had the honor of being with an old friend of ours, Rockwood Blake, that used to live in San Francisco. He's now in Estonia, so he's gone to a different part of the world, and we were like, you know what, I don't know why we haven't had him earlier, but he has some of the best stories because he had this tour called Story Party, which actually was very similar to Dateable in a way of just like, dating stories, or at least where Dateable started. So we were super excited to have him. We all know you love a good story, and this guy is a great storyteller. So even if the topic you don't think you're interested in pegging, maybe you will be by the end, but just listen for the storytelling in itself is totally worth a listen. Guarantee you will crack up while listening to this.
We love to see the stats of who listens. I mean, not exactly who listens to the episodes. We cannot trace you back by name and address, but we like to see listenership just based on the, episode topic alone. And we know some of the more, philosophical topics are really popular. Attachment styles.
I thought you were going to say pegging, philosophical topics.
Well, yeah. Then Julie and I have this theory that sex and fetishes are also very popular topics. And surprisingly, they haven't been as popular as more the philosophical ones. And it makes me wonder, is it because people are set in their sexual ways that maybe it's like, oh, if this doesn't apply to me, I don't need to listen? Mm-hmm. Or are they turned off by things that are not in their sexual wheelhouse? So we're encouraging you, if you're just listening to this now and you didn't realize this was an episode about pegging, which is not, it's only part of the story, and you're like, oh, pegging, I would never do that, or pegging, I don't know what that is, that's a good sign. You should keep listening, because you will be very intrigued by what pegging is and all the other sexual acts we could be doing out there.
So I was able to finally go on a girls' trip this weekend. That was originally planned for April 2020, but clearly never happened. So we finally went.
A little delay.
Yep, just a little delay. We went to the Russian River up in Sonoma, and I was telling them about this episode because it's so funny. I'm so excited to air this one. And they all stared at me with like a blank face that no one knew what pegging was. I thought it was just like a common term, but signs you've been doing a dating and sex podcast for too long.
I don't think I knew what pegging was till like 5 years ago. I don't think
5 years ago though, not now,
Is it a newer term, you think? I don't know. I need to look into the history.
We talk about it on the episode, but it was Broad City, that TV show, that put it on the map for me.
Maybe Broad City is the one that put it on the map, but I think the word pegging has been around for a while. I just never really thought about digging into it. No pun intended. But now I know so much about it. Sexual interests and fetishes, I think, are completely fascinating. And if I were a listener of this show, which I am, it's the sexual ones that I'm really interested in.
Racking up the downloads on those ones.
I love replay them because I'm like, wait, where do you go to get these toys?
I think it might have been Swanee, one of our hosts and moderators, that she said that like during the podcast discussion group for Puppy Play, everyone commented that UA seemed really into it.
I am. Not that I'm not like trying to do this. I'm not like, oh my gosh, tomorrow to my partner, let's try Puppy Play, or I want to peg you. But I want to plant the seed, because I do think if you're going to be with someone forever, down the line, you got to have more tricks in the bag. You got to be like, okay, we got pegging, we got Puppy Play, we got like ear fetishes. I don't know. Take a strand of my hair, smell it, put it up your ass. I don't know what that fetish is called. But Julie, I'm like, I know at some point I will run out of tricks and I need to pull from my bag from Dateable.
I 100% agree, because it's like only the ones that are the common ones only go so far. Like when you've been with someone for like, I don't know, even like 5 years, I feel like it could get old. Even like a couple of years, I think it could get old.
Do you remember... I don't know if you can pinpoint this. Do you remember when you first learned about 69? Because I feel like that was like the first
yes.
kind of like non-traditional thing I learned
Which
about.
now no one does ever.
What do you mean? Is that not a thing anymore?
You was like, I did it last night.
Is there another number I should be aware of?
I just
my
like
God.
there's like a known thing that it's like an uncomfortable, weird position. At least, you know, maybe you don't feel the same way. You always looking at me in utter disbelief right this minute. I would love to hear from our listeners who is pro 69, who is not 69, but like it's like a known thing out there that it like sounds way better than it actually is. It's like Sex on the Beach or something that like in theory sounds good and then it's just not. But maybe you feel different. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
When I learned about 69, I wasn't having sex. I think I was like 10 or something. And I remember just thinking like, that is disgusting. And how do you get your body into that position? And are you like smelling their butt? You know, those were the thoughts going on in my head. So when I tried 69 for the first time when I was 11, no, just kidding. I was probably like 25 the first time I ever tried it. And it was very much intentional. It wasn't like 69 is not one of those things that like you just end up in.
Stumble in. Yeah. You definitely can't just like stumble in there. No way.
You're like, how do we end up in this position?
Here? Yeah.
It's very intentional. It's like, hey, do you want a 69?
It just so crazy. So juvenile to me.
It does.
I'm sorry if I'm like offending anyone that likes this. It just sounds so like, because I think it's because like what you said, you learn about it when you're like, I remember learning about it at summer camp and everyone thought it was like so funny. And you know, then when the number 69 came out, everyone would giggle. And it's just like, it reminds me of juvenile. And I think that's why I have that connotation. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a thing that people do all the time. I don't know.
Let's take a poll. Who likes 69? My issue with it is that I cannot multitask when I'm having sex. So I have to like pleasure someone else while trying to receive pleasure.
It's a lot.
It doesn't, I feel like I can only be good at one of those at a time. And then I abandon the other part. Right. So I've used my teeth many times with 69 because I forgot that I was doing something for pleasure here, and I'm more receiving, and then I'm like, oh fuck, sorry for biting your penis.
I think this is an Instagram poll. I think this needs to happen.
Okay, I'm putting this on Instagram.
Get on it.
Who's still 69? And then it's like, what's your age?
Yes, exactly. How old are you?
Old are you? Do you know what a 69 is? Yeah, do kids these days even know what 69 is?
No, I'm sure it's not cool. Like, anything that we thought was cool is definitely not cool now.
Do you know what is cool? I'm going to transition us out of 69 because I'm getting a little hot.
Oh, and also hot and heavy with this?
Hot and heavy. I'm so turned on just thinking about 69. Oh my God. I love my body in that position. It's just like seeing the balls really up and close. My parents are very cool. I spent the whole weekend with them.
How did that transition from that?
I know. Speaking of what's cool and
my
not
parents,
69.
Yeah.
My parents are amazing. I hope that they don't listen to this transition. Or they're going to go Google what 69 is.
Yeah,
and
they're
be
like, what is that?
What does that mean? Oh, Ariana Grande. Sorry. You know her song, 3435?
Yeah.
You know why it's the name of that song?
I don't think, is it 3435 or 3536?
3435.
Okay. Why is it the name of that song?
Add it up.
Oh, 69.
Yes, she's a juvenile girl. She is juvenile.
Wow, she was trying to stay classy by not saying 69. I did not know that.
Yes,
wow.
I know.
So that's what the kids are saying now.
Do you want a 34-35 with me?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, so how is this transitioning
Okay, so yes,
transitioning
to my parents. I just want to take up some airtime to talk about my parents, and I didn't realize I would go into all this long discussion about 69 and Ariana Grande. So I'm going to make it more mature now and talk about how amazing my parents are, because I would say my parents are the type of couple that fell in love later in life. Aww. They got married. I don't know if there was, I'm sure there was some baseline love to begin with, but they had me right away, and they fell into this marriage right away. It's not an arranged marriage by any means, but I still don't think that they knew what true love was. Mm-hmm. But now, since they've been retired for almost a decade, they've learned to fall in love with each other. And I've never seen a couple who is just so perfect for each other. And I just like in total admiration, and just know that couples, even though they've been together for 40 years, are still learning to fall in love with each other every day. And they give me so much hope because they choose this for each other every day. So I just want to give them a little bit of a shout out and airtime because they deserve that recognition, and I'm just so proud of them.
I wanted to make a 69 joke that I thought it was terribly inappropriate. So
my gosh. 69 joke?
I was like, I can't bring 69 to Yue's parents. That's just not right.
Should we do like a music transition here so then we can like shift gears? Okay, back to 69.
I'm sorry, it's still on my mind. I haven't.
What's the joke? What's the joke? Tell me.
No. It wasn't like a specific joke. It was more just going to be a commentary. But I'm
no. Julie, why do you do this all the time? She like says something. She just gives you the tip. It's just the tip with Julie. And you're like, give me the whole shaft. What were you going to say?
Oh, how fitting for this episode.
Julie, craft chick.
How fitting for this episode. Well, so, I'm going to transition us to
you transition us to something
I'm going to transition us for the sounding board. We have our June month ready to go. We're going to have Corey Rosen, one of our past guests from Your Story Well Told, also the title of his book. We love this episode because it was all about like, how do you tell your story? Whether that's like the dreaded why are you single or why are you divorced or whatever, like that like cringy like life one that you don't know how to like articulate, or it's just telling a freaking good story on a date and bonding with your date. It can be whatever level of story you want, but you're going to learn all the techniques. And I've taken his classes before and they are phenomenal. And honestly, it's such a good value to just join this, to get this alone. Like, it's going to be an incredible time.
And even if you're not dating, the storytelling is going to be so valuable for you. I was talking to a recruiter friend of mine, and she said all the candidates that come in, her first question to them is, what's your story of getting to this role today? And she said maybe like 2 out of 10 can answer that question. So this is so valuable for every facet of life, but especially for dating when someone asks you, what's your story?
Yep.
What's your story? Why are you still single? And
even if you've been in a relationship for years, what better way to come in and dazzle them with a new story?
Dazzle.
So if you're not on the sounding board yet, we have limited seats to these events. You can also join at a lower tier that does not include the events, or you can go a level up and get a coffee chat with Yue and I every month. And you also, if you go the level up, you also get access to the events. So go to dateablepodcast.com/sounding board. You can read about it all there and find what works for you.
Yes. And for the coffee chats, you can talk about whatever you want. Yeah. It's up to you.
Yeah, we have people like talking about things that aren't dating related even. Like it can be anything you want. We're just here to shoot the shit, basically. But you can, of course, talk to us about your dating issues. We know that's probably why you're here, realistically.
Yeah. Anything you want. If you want to talk about 69, totally. Go for it.
You can use that 30 minutes to tell us why you love that position so much.